You ever watch a public figure hustle so hard to project pure-hearted mom that the sheen starts peeling off? That's exactly what Meghan Markle's alleged mid-air meltdown has done to her brand equity. And before you roll your eyes and file this under royal clickbait, hear me out. This isn't about tiaras or trending hashtags. This is a live case study in leadership optics, stakeholder trust, and what happens to reputational capital when the cameras stop rolling.
Let's just, how can you not laugh at that? I mean, she's a total mess and embarrassment. If you wouldn't laugh at this, you'd cry.
It all started on a flight that should have been routine. London to South Africa, royal tour kickoff, press waiting on the other end. But according to insiders from the airline crew, this wasn't a sweet family travel moment. This was the day. Meghan Markle allegedly gave a masterclass in detachment. While most moms are busy wiping noses and juggling snacks, Meghan reportedly didn't even glance at baby Archie. Not once. One senior attendant said she acted like the kid was cargo. Archie cried. The nanny stepped in. Flight staff rushed to help. But Meghan, eyes on her phone, sipping sparkling water, like none of it concerned her. And here's where things get weird. Whenever Prince Harry strolled by, Meghan allegedly flipped into character, smiling, sweet-talking, asking if everything was all right. As soon as he walked away, the charm allegedly vanished like the in-flight peanuts. One crew member joked, it was like watching someone do customer service for their own husband. You'd expect new mom nerves, maybe jet lag. But crew who've served dozens of high-profile passengers say this was different, cold, calculated, off-brand. And not just once. This flight allegedly started a pattern they say they saw more than once. That flight sparked whispers that never really stopped, and soon they had a name for it. Duchess Difficult. Not some tabloid nickname, but something whispered in crew lounges and passed along between shifts. The kind of name that sticks when too many stories line up. You see, this wasn't the only flight. Over the next few months, flight staff on both sides of the Atlantic shared eerily similar experiences. Meghan allegedly demanded upgrades without paying, expected staff to follow her around like personal assistants, and treated crew like, well, like background noise. One American Airlines employee said she had main character syndrome at 40,000 feet, and it wasn't just the rudeness. It was the performance. She'd allegedly switch her tone completely when Harry showed up. It's like she had a split brand, one version for public-facing moments, and another for when no one important was looking. Meghan Markle, not to be confused with Meghan Sussex, seemed to be starring in her own royal documentary, written, directed, and scored by herself. One crew member even joked, "She thanked me once, right as Harry turned the corner. I should have filmed it." It was historic, but if the skies were rough, the ground crew had even more to say. And it only got worse after Hollywood started calling her difficult. We'll get to that next. Long before tiaras and royal titles, Meghan was already building her reputation, just not the kind you put on a resume. Crew members from one of her early indie film sets claim they saw the same behavior way before the palace ever did. She wasn't a household name back then, but you'd never know it from how she allegedly acted, demanding private transport while the rest of the cast rode vans, refusing to fly coach even when the film budget didn't allow anything else. One production assistant claimed she asked for a business class upgrade on a route that literally didn't have business class. When told no, she allegedly asked for a private jet on a film that could barely afford bottled water. We're not talking about a Marvel blockbuster here. This was small, scrappy, and barely funded, but Meghan allegedly walked in like she owned the studio. A former producer even quipped, she acted like the studio needed her more than she needed the paycheck, which was ironic considering we had to beg just to get her to show up on time. Even then, it was the same switch-flip behavior, polite to the people in charge, dismissive to anyone beneath her. One background actor said she once refused to speak to the makeup team because they got her shade wrong. Meghan Markle, the queen of, I don't know what this means, but I'm going to say it anyway. So when the royal staff started whispering about Duchess Difficult, Hollywood wasn't shocked. They just shrugged and said, "You're late to the party." Flash forward to Kensington Palace. The wedding's barely over, and suddenly staffers are quitting like it's a group resignation challenge. Within 18 months, Meghan's entire inner palace team had turned over. That's not normal, even for a high-pressure environment like the royal household. These were seasoned professionals, the kind who'd survived generations of royal drama. But somehow, Meghan was the one they couldn't work with. Insiders claim there were 5 a.m. emails, impossible demands, and what one aide allegedly described as a culture of fear and favoritism. And just like on that infamous flight, the sweet smile supposedly only came out when Harry was nearby. One former staffer even told a royal reporter, "She was lovely when the cameras were on. Off camera, that's when things got real. The palace launched an internal investigation into workplace bullying in 2021, but here's the kicker. Those results have never been made public, locked away, sealed, archived. And while Meghan's team called it a smear campaign, the silence from the palace spoke louder than any tabloid headline. And yet, through all the exits, all the scandals, all the staff who quietly walked away, Meghan kept the image spotless. Or tried to. That's when she brought in the real pros, a full-scale PR rebrand. And the flight attendant TikTok, that might have been the first move on a very calculated chessboard. Let's talk about that next. By mid-2025, Meghan's public image was wobbling and fast. Critics were getting louder, press stories less flattering, and her female empowerment brand started feeling like an overpriced product that wasn't delivering. So, what does a savvy media-trained duchess do? She flips the strategy. Out goes the old communications team, and in comes Method Communications, a crisis-savvy PR firm known for bold pivots and even bolder distractions. Almost overnight, her social media channels shifted tone. Suddenly, we see cozy at-home clips of Harry teaching Archie to ride a bike, family breakfasts, soft-focus selfies with Lilibet, carefully curated, lightly filtered, timed like clockwork. And then, right in the middle of this rebrand storm, bam! The now infamous TikTok from that American Airlines flight attendant drops, praising Meghan as the sweetest, most gracious human ever to board a plane. Too good to be true? That's what airline staffers thought. One crew member commented anonymously, "That video broke every confidentiality rule in the book. No one posts a passenger's name and a handwritten note unless they've been told to." Another quipped, "The only thing missing was a halo and angel music." Suddenly, people started asking if the TikTok was real, or just another move in a bigger strategy to clean up Meghan's messy public image. And here's the real question. If you have to manufacture kindness for the internet to see, is it even real? Because while Meghan's PR team was staging napkin notes and family reels, something more telling was happening behind the scenes. Even her own inner circle was starting to go silent, including the one person she always kept close, her mother. That silence, it spoke volumes. If there was one relationship Meghan always flaunted as genuine, it was with her mom, Doria Ragland. She was the calm one, the spiritual rock, the one who didn't talk to tabloids and always smiled politely from the sidelines. But lately, Doria's been noticeably absent. And not just in a she's taking time for herself way, but in a don't post me with her right now kind of way. In May 2025, Doria attended a Beyoncé concert in LA. Alone. No Meghan, no Harry, no matching outfits or backstage. Glam shots. Just Doria flying solo, photographed laughing with Beyoncé's mom Tina Knowles like she's part of a different VIP circle altogether. Meanwhile, Meghan, who's usually quick to post anything family-related, was silent. No mentions, no captions, no reposts. Later on her podcast, Meghan half-joked that she was mildly annoyed her mom didn't tell her she was going. But the way she said it didn't sound like a joke. It sounded like someone losing grip on their inner circle. And when a woman as image-conscious as Meghan starts losing control of her core narrative, even her family, the cracks don't just show, they echo. And guess who's still smiling quietly in the background, holding the door, playing the part? Yep, Prince Harry, the man who thought he married a mirror of his mother's grace. But the way insiders tell it, he's just another prop in the Meghan show. Let's talk about that next. Once upon a time, Harry was the wild card of the royal family, the unpredictable one, the rebel with a cause. Now, he's starting to look like a background character in Meghan's story. At public events, he opens car doors, carries bags, stands a step behind while Meghan poses. The energy has shifted, and insiders are quietly saying what fans are starting to notice. Harry's role is shrinking. One airline crew member even said, "She only said thank you when he was around. Otherwise, she acted like we didn't exist." And it's not just the body language. Friends close to the couple allegedly claim that Harry's voice is quieter, his opinions less present, his presence more ceremonial. The same man who once said he left the monarchy to protect his wife and children now seems like he's just trying to keep up. And if the stories are true, even Harry doesn't always get the real Meghan, just the version she's decided he should see. In the end, you've got to ask, who's really wearing the crown? You can post a selfie. You can write a napkin note. You can hire the best PR team in the business. But the way you treat people when no one's watching, that's the real legacy. Meghan Markle has built a brand around kindness, empowerment, and grace. But according to flight crews, former staff, and even colleagues from her early acting, days, there's another version of her that's been quietly making the rounds behind the scenes for years. These aren't paparazzi rumors or tabloid clickbait, they're patterns. Repeated, consistent, eerily similar across continents and careers. And the scariest part? Most of the people who spoke out did it knowing they could lose everything: jobs, reputation, peace. Because when someone controls the narrative this tightly, even telling the truth can feel like a risk. So maybe that's the real takeaway. Kindness isn't what you post, it's what you practice. And if you have to film it to prove it, maybe it was never really there. So here we are. A single viral TikTok tried to sell the world on a warm, grateful Meghan Markle, floating napkin note and all. But behind that 30-second clip sits a much longer flight log of quiet complaints, whispered warnings, and stories that somehow all sound the same. From airline crews to palace aides, Hollywood assistants to makeup artists, the pattern doesn't shout. It hums beneath the surface, steady and unmistakable. And that's the real story here. Not just one bad flight or one grumpy mood, but a long-term brand built so tightly around perfection, it seems allergic to accountability. Meghan may know how to light up a camera, but according to the people who've worked in her shadow, the glow often fades the second no one important is watching. Still, the story's not over. If even half of these accounts are true, then we've only scratched the surface of what happens when reputation becomes performance, and when performance becomes the cage. The truth? It always finds a way to leak out, and we'll be here to cover it when it does. And yes, we'll talk more about those sealed palace files and what's inside, but that's for another video. Before you go, please note, this video discusses ongoing legal proceedings based on alleged and unverified information. All claims and allegations mentioned have not been confirmed by official sources and are part of a developing case. The views shared are for commentary and discussion purposes only. Always check for updates from reliable sources. Thanks for watching.